Daniel is Ghanaian. Stop. He studied in Moscow and gained a BA in 96 and an MSc in 98 in water and environmental engineering. He studied for 6 years in Moscow. In 1997, he returned to Ghana to do national service, teaching maths in Aquatia for 1 year. He went to Moscow on a scholarship, and on another scholarship he went to the Ukraine to study for a PhD at the University of Odessa, but decided not to pursue it. At the same time, he met an Australian lady who was looking for a UK visa but couldn't speak the language. Subsequently, he stayed with her at her home in Camberwell. She is now deceased, but gave him a lot of help. He became a graduate of the Institution of Civil Engineers in 1995, but spent several holidays in the UK. He would have preferred to have studied at a Western university, but financial circumstances, his father is dead, meant he had to take a Russian scholarship, which was put forward by the Ghanaian government. He was brought up by his grandmother. In 1998, he worked unpaid for Thames Water and the Corporation of London on a voluntary basis, 3 days a week for 6 months. In 1999, he studied at Surrey University for his MSc. The Australian lady paid his fees. The MSc was in water and environment, but did not take a degree, but used it more as a refresher course. Thus, he had a BA in Moscow in 95, an MSc in Moscow in 96, and became a graduate of the ICE in 95. The house he lives in is a relatively modern maisonette. Is a maisonette in a relatively modern terrace house. It is sparsely but well furnished, and in a good state of decoration. He didn't gain the right to work in the UK until 2002, so didn't work. But his church, he is very devout. Friends whom he'd made in Moscow. He got his British citizenship in 2008. In 2004, he joined Metronet as a project manager and planner, and came in contact with Paul Daly and Kevin Carfer. In 2009, he transferred to Transport for London at the Neeson Depot as a project manager. This was after 1 year, he joined Alstom. So 1 year, due to downsizing at TfL, he joined Alstom and worked for the Golders Green Depot on the Northern Line on project planning. He bought his house in 2010 for £220,000. He worked for Alstom for 2 years. In 2011 and 2012 to 2016, he became a contract engineer working for Balfour Beatty and Systec and for SNC Lavalin in Ottawa, Canada. In 2016, he returned to Ghana to see his mother, who was very ill, but came back to the UK in 2017. His wife Benedetta was a soldier in the British Army, and they married in 2013. She was an administrator in Croydon College, but is currently not working and looking for another job. Thus, neither D or B are working. Paved the council tax for the last month, and he's presently negotiating with the utilities on how to deal with the arrears in the payment of these. He's had no income since March and is getting most of his sustenance from his local church. His mortgage arrears amount to some £2,400. Other undefined arrears amount to approximately £2,500. Utility bills are £400. These include gas, electricity, telecoms and water. Council tax he owes £2,500. Thus his total debts or arrears amount to some £8,000. He believes that he and his wife need about £3,000 a month. On top of this, he and his wife believe they need about £3,000 a month to pay for their regular outgoings. That includes mortgage payments, utility bills, council tax, food, clothing and the like. But as a professional, between them they would expect to be earning between £5,000 and £6,000 a month. He has been in contact with Steve, the independent financial advisor, and Sue on the Back to Work scheme. Steve has agreed that he should provide answers to the questionnaire set for the council tax arrears and to submit this to Lindsay of the Benevolent Fund. Sue of the Back to Work scheme he is meeting at Stanmore this coming Thursday. He has applied for universal credit, but is not sure what amount he can expect from them.